Tom, you signed a new contract, obviously a bit of confidence from both parties there.
Yeah, I was really happy to get it all sorted. Obviously, it took a little bit of time to get through, but I'm really happy with what we come to terms with, and I'm just happy to be staying in Canberra.
It's only a one-year deal. Did you think about a bit longer, or is it sort of to coincide with the World Cup?
Yeah, it was just sort of something I went through with my manager. He thought I think that was the best option with me, and obviously the Brumbies are we're happy to do that as well, so we just went in that direction.
What's the feeling like within the team after 2 losses in a row, coming home for your first home game against the Sharks?
Yeah, that's the thing. It's a pretty tough way to start the season, especially with 3 away games. But that's the thing. We want to come back. We know we can build confidence because our structures are creating space. We just got to take those opportunities when they present themselves. So obviously at home this weekend, we've just got to try and get the win.
Do you feel as though the team is on the back foot a little bit after 2 losses in a row?
I wouldn't say back foot. I'd say probably underdogs. But that's a title we're happy to go with. If we know what we can do when we put our structures together and we execute. So no, I think we're ready to fire this weekend.
Mate, you couldn't really get a look in at the Reds. Why do you think you came down here and flourished?
I'm not too sure. I think a few people have come down from Queensland and other states and had a really good career here. But I think just the general culture down here. I think it's just the general culture down here. It's very rugby related, and I think it's just very focused on rugby, and I think that's what you need to just sort of get your mindset just around doing what you can do the best and just focusing on rugby.
I was talking to Dan the other day. He said it's just a matter of putting that belief in players and showing them confidence. Do you feel like the Brumbies kind of backing you has brought out your best footy?
Yeah, definitely. I think they took a big chance on me coming down here, and I'm trying to pay them back everywhere they can, but it definitely they brought out the best in my footy, I think, and I've still a lot more to come in the future, I think.
Mate, Tim just kind of touched on it, first home game of the season. They've got the double thing with the Raiders this week in terms of crowd. Does the crowd size change your footy at all from a player's perspective?
Obviously, the bigger the crowd, I think the more they get into it. I think it's a lot more difficult for opposing teams when I think the home team's getting a lot more support. So I think that's the biggest thing. It's very tough for rival teams coming here if you've got a really big crowd, and it makes it hard for them to sort of execute and play well.
You mentioned the 3 away games to start the season before. What sort of toll does that take on the players mentally, having to prepare for that?
I think that's the general nature of Super Rugby footy. You've got to prepare for those stretches on the road, but obviously it's a bit taxing, but we've got to deal with that, and we've just got to be, I guess, a bit better. And I think we've reviewed what we've done poorly, and then we're looking to execute what we can this weekend. I think we've got a good game plan, and look to get the win.
Yeah, disappointing result on Friday night. How have the guys responded in the days since?
I think it was pretty positive in the fact that we know what we can do when we sort of execute, and I think we just didn't do that in certain patches of the game, which were pretty crucial. And they got a few sort of turnover tries, which sort of blew it out a bit. But what you said, I mentioned before, is the belief's there, and we know what we can do when we get it right.
The Brumbies are often seen as the team to beat in the Australian Conference. Now the Rebels have kind of been given that tag. Does that motivate you guys to kind of push ahead and sort of get that momentum back? Yeah,
definitely. I think from what the Rebels were doing last year, I think they've come a long way. But definitely we want to cement that top spot in the Australian Conference, and obviously it's going to be a bit harder this year than it was last year with the Australian teams being a bit better. But obviously looking to just build week to week, and then obviously just to win those Australian derbies and to look to build on that, I guess.
And what's your thoughts on going up against a South African side this week?
I suppose not too much changes in the terms that we want to play our footy, and if we can execute our plays and make them sort of defend how we want to play, I think that'll say it all. So I think it's just more focused on us rather than them.
Mate, obviously the focus is clubland at the moment, but I presume the dream is to wear a golden jersey one day?
Yeah, definitely. That's always been my ambition, but I think just focusing on Super Rugby at the moment, I think, is the biggest thing for me, and just trying to play well here.
The other one was, I don't know if you're across it, but New Zealand Rugby have just signed this thing with the Harlequins in London that would allow for kind of sabbaticals for players and a freer movement, I guess. The Brumbies have shown a bit of interest in doing the same thing with the Japanese club. Is that something, as a player, you'd be keen to see happen?
I did see that actually with the New Zealand teams doing that. Obviously, it's a good pathway for some people if you want to go down that road, but I obviously haven't heard too much about it yet, so I can't really say too much. But if the avenue's there, I think it'd be a good way to open up more pathways.